Hey everybody, welcome into another episode of the Windy City Breakdown. I'm Andy Martínez, joined as always by my co-hosts Tony Andracki and Kyle Millinowisch. Guys, we are recording this on Thursday morning. The Cubs just got swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. They have lost 5 in a row, which is tied for the longest losing streak in the majors right now. They are 2-8 in their last 10. Things have really gone south with this Cubs team that was looking really good just even a week ago compared to, or 2 weeks ago compared to where they're at now. So, Tony, let's just kick it off. What the heck's going on with the Cubs?
Uh, Everything really. I mean, this is the worst stretch we've seen from the team, obviously this season. They're actually like 2-9 over their last 11 too. Like it hasn't been good. They've lost 4 straight series. They got swept by the Brewers. Just anecdotally, I feel like the last couple years, whenever the Cubs play the Brewers, the Cubs are always playing the worst they have all season, and the Brewers are playing the best they have all season. Like that's just what it feels like to me. The playoffs is a little bit different story, but yeah, this was a heck of a time for both teams in this series. The Brewers have been surging and really looking good. And obviously, even before this Brewer series, the Cubs have not looked great. They lost to Texas on the road, a pretty decent team, not great, not terrible. Lost to the Braves, arguably the best team in baseball so far this year. And then in Atlanta, too. And then they lost to an upstart White Sox team in a couple of close games there, or they won a close game. What was it initially a close game and then lost a close game? Like it was a tough road trip, but they have come home and I'll just say it like bluntly, they look like shit. Like they do not play well. They have not played well in any aspect of the game. Defensively, PC's 2 gaffes. I know we'll talk about it coming up, but like dropping the ball Tuesday night, the ball getting under his glove Wednesday night that ends up leading to a little league home run. Not good. Offensively, and I know we'll talk about that later too, atrocious. And then this is the worst stretch I've seen from this starting pitching for a while now. So it's just rough all around. The bullpen seems like it's like coming back to earth after what things were pretty good. Like it's just there's no other way to put it, but like they're not playing good baseball right now. That will change. It's just there's not much good to take from the moment.
Was that second inning yesterday not the most Brewers inning of all time? Sal Frelick gets a catcher's interference by hitting the string of Carson Kelly's glove. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. The string of Carson Kelly's glove. Then Edward Cabrera walked Joey Ortiz, the 8-hitter, who's hitting what, 200?
He's got a 50 OPS. He had a 50 OPS plus during the series. So he was
I could have a
percentage
50
points.
OPS plus in the majors.
Yeah.
You couldn't play defense like him though.
No.
And then David Hamilton hits a nice single up the middle. And of course, it goes under PCA's glove. And he's the fastest guy on the roster and circles the bases for a little league home run. It was just, the epitome of what seemingly of how Cubs versus Brewers has gone the last however many years.
I think the last decade, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say, so was it since 2017? Since 2018, the Cubs haven't had a better record than the Brewers in the regular season in a full 162. Did I see that correctly on Twitter yesterday?
Yeah, that would be right because 2020 they won the division, but that was a shortened season. 2019 they didn't make the playoffs. The Brewers did. 21 I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Well, 21, Cubs had the second worst record in the division, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and the Brewers made the playoffs. They played the Braves and the
yeah, that's right. 22 they didn't make the playoffs, I don't think, though.
But the Cubs were ass.
Yeah.
So like it's just the Brewers have dominated, and that inning, that 3-batter stretch seemingly was like the epitome of it. And even you go back to the half inning before where Nico tries to take third on a fly ball to deep left center, and Garrett Mitchell guns him out. And originally he's ruled safe, then after review he's ruled out. It's like these little things. The Brewers, they win on the margins. They do so many little things correctly, and they force your hand. And the Cubs, when their hands are forced, seemingly just make every error possible. So you could say it's the Cubs' fault, but I think it's more credit to the Brewers for it's rinse and repeat. They're just a damn good team.
I mean, I feel like
but Kyle, they don't even know anybody's names on Milwaukee. Yeah. Nobody knows the names on the Brewers.
Yeah, I have a sheet of their names right here just in case I forget them. Because you're right. I've never heard of any of these guys.
Not a single one
That
of them.
that is like, I get why he does it, or why Pat Murphy does it. And if you guys are unfamiliar, what are we talking about? Pat Murphy again used the whole no one knows the players' names compared to I mean, he did it with the Dodgers last year in the NLDS. He's doing it now with the Cubs because the Cubs have a lot of big names. But like, the shtick's kind of old. Like, maybe it works with the players, and maybe the players need to hear it. But like,
Kind of.
it's really old. Yeah. It's like, these are darn good. Their second baseman was the second baseman for Team USA on like an all-star team. Like, you can't give me no one knows any of our players' names. You have Christian Yelich, a former MVP. Like, you have players that people know their names. Sure. After those two guys, maybe does it get a little bit dicey? Sure. But like,
Dude, no,
like, if you're a
Jacob
baseball fan,
Mizorowski.
oh, sure, yeah,
His
Mizrahi.
name is
I
so
was
hard
talking
to
about just the
spell.
offensive players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet casual fans can spell Mizorowski's name because they see it so much in the last calendar year that he's been up.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
insane, man. Like, it's a weird shtick. I don't. It's super cringy.
It's
I don't
working, though.
understand it. I can't imagine being a player in the Brewers clubhouse and that having that actually work. Like, it was cringy when he said it in the playoffs with the Dodgers. I mean, he said, Andy, we were there in Milwaukee or Chicago last year when he said some not quite as like overt as it was against LA in the NLCS, or like he just said the other day. But like, he's been saying this kind of stuff for a year and a half at least. That's ridiculous. Like, everybody on the Cubs knows everybody on the Brewers. Like, they scout these teams first of all. And he wasn't even saying fans don't know their names. He's like, they couldn't name anybody on our team. Like, come on. Christian Yelich has been with the Brewers for a decade, and he's been killing the Cubs for almost that entire stretch.
He won an
Kyle
MVP
Harrison
award.
was a former top prospect. Like, these are good players.
I did want to get to something too, because like, Kyle, you mentioned how like it seems like the Cubs, or this was like a Brewer series, and like they're beating the Cubs how they always do. This was also an example of like the front offices beating, or the Brewers front office beating the Cubs in player acquisition and player, like
Yeah.
just in that aspect.
Player
Because you look at
development,
like,
too.
yeah, like Alex Bregman, your big signing in the offseason for the Cubs, didn't really do a whole lot this series. PCA, who you signed to the extension after a great second year in the majors, didn't do a whole lot. Actually had two really big gaffes for the one area of the game that you're hoping he's going to be consistent at and elite at. That leads to a run. Not the first one, the drop fly ball obviously didn't lead to any runs, but like that was still a really bad gaff. And then you look at the Brewers on the other side, right? That they traded away Caleb Durbin, who was a really good player for them in 2025 to the Boston Red Sox. They get three players back. One a pitcher who shoves against the Cubs, and then another pitcher who's been shoving for them. Like, it just shows everything that they're doing. Oh, and by the way, they also traded away Freddie Peralta, their ace last season, and are still in first place by a game and a half in the division on May 21st over the Cubs.
And no Quinn Priester, who was awesome for them last year, hasn't thrown a pitch this year. And Brandon Woodruff, who was a huge, supposed to be a huge part of the rotation this year and was last year, is also out for a really long time. Like, they have
think it's
magic.
I think it's fair to say, like, the Cubs are because it's accurate. It's fair to say, the Cubs have been struck by the injury bug, and like, it's, they had Kate Horton and they've had all these injuries, and like Matthew Boyd, I get it. But like, they're having their injuries too. And theoretically, like, the way that the Cubs should be competing and the way the Cubs should be making that up is by being able to outspend them, whereas the Brewers would theoretically have to spend on, or have to bring up prospects or bring up young players. And it doesn't matter because they're being able to fill these holes seemingly at will. Whereas, if the Cubs have another pitching injury, you're kind of like, well, is this even a playoff team? Like, maybe you start having these conversations because of how crazy this pitching staff has been hurt. Whereas, like, I think if the Brewers had one of their starters go down today, you'd kind of be like, all right, well, they're going to find a way. It's just that wide of a gap between the two teams, I feel like, from top to bottom.
Is it fair to say the Brewers are like in terms of prospect development, a model organization?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I think Mizorowski is like the perfect example of that. There were so many scouts that thought that this dude was just going to be a reliever. Like, that was the main concern with Mizorowski was he's got great stuff. 1, can he stay healthy? 2, is he going to have enough kind of control, command? And 3, is he going to be a reliever? And it is, our points 1 and 2 going to end up impacting whether he was a starter or not? Oh, by the way, he's one of the best starters in baseball. I mean, he's right up there with Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez, maybe Shohei right now too, maybe Mason Miller. Like, it's probably those 5 guys for the NL Cy Young right now, roughly 2 months into the season. Like, he's good, and that's totally on player development. Kyle Harrison was a guy who was a first-round draft pick, a top prospect, was in at least 2 organizations, right? The Giants and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything with them, and those are pretty good organizations at developing pitching. I mean, the Red Sox have quite a few pitching prospects that they've developed recently, including like currently right now with guys like Connolly Early and Peyton Tolley and stuff like that. But like, they couldn't do anything with him. The Brewers get their hands on him and instantly turn him into a stud.
Quinn Priester, same thing last year. Quinn Priester last year's a former first-round pick with the Pirates who it seemed like he was flaming out. He gets to Milwaukee last year, and he's like the savior in their rotation.
Yeah, they're the model organization. They remind me of what the Patriots were under Belichick in football. Is like they can pick guys up off the street and go out and be like one of the top cornerbacks in the league, or a receiver that didn't work anywhere else, like Wes Welker, all of a sudden goes to New England and is a stud. Like, it feels like that, and Yelich is sort of like their Tom Brady, the guy that's been there during this whole time and produces and like, helps make everybody around him better. I mean, Yelich has back injuries, and he's missed like over a month of time already this season, and then that home run he had off Shota, like, I don't think it's landed yet. It's crazy. Jake Bauers wasn't even great last year for this team, and now he's like better than every player in the Cubs lineup. It's nuts.
We touched on it a little bit, but what's up with PCA? Like, what are your observations, Kyle? I'll start with you. Like, what are you seeing? Give me the fan perspective.
Man,
did the White Sox fan break him?
Yeah, I mean, we were joking about that yesterday, that the White Sox fan mentally broke him. And hey, hell, maybe in the field he did. It's crazy. And we could obviously dive into him at the plate, but him dropping that fly ball, and granted, it didn't lead to Ben Brown escaped it, but didn't lead to a run. But that play yesterday, I mean, my God,
the Little League home run.
Yeah, the Little League home run part of me. It just seemed like he was timid. Like it's like he has the yips. It's like a voodoo word. You never say that in baseball, but he just seems so off. I mean, honestly, thankfully today, Thursday, is an off day for the Cubs because this team desperately needed a day off here. Well, you don't
Not to
agree
cut you off, Kyle. I agree 100%. Can you think of a time in recent Cubs memory where they've needed an off day and a player like PCA is needing an off day as much as this?
2019 down the stretch when they played like 42 and 43 days.
Yeah, fine. 2019. Yeah.
29. Yeah, boom, roasted. But yeah, I mean, it's just like insane. And even his first at bat yesterday, right after the error in the field, he took 3 straight strikes and struck out. I mean, granted, I think the first one was a fastball, middle end. I mean, you think that he's swinging at that. He's always swinging out of his shoes. Then a couple with Kyle Harrison, granted to him. I mean, credit to him, he just dotted a couple fastballs on the outside corner. But even later in the game, he's back to his old ways. It's 3-1. He's swinging at a pitch at his eyes. It's just like, I mean, I have his numbers in the month of May. He's 197 average, 642 OPS. It's just, I don't know. He just seems lost up there. And yeah, maybe I know it's not his second year, but maybe it's just a slump after that great year we had. But also we kind of saw this in the second half of the season last year. So Tone, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he admitted Wednesday night, that the stuff going on with the fan on the South Side is impacting him. I mean, he talked about it. So this is his full quote, verbatim. Yesterday and today, meaning the drop fly ball Tuesday and the ball that got under his glove Wednesday, are like genuinely laughable. I think one thing that I can fall back on is it's never really a lack of focus, but trying too hard and trying to make up for the lack of production that I've given this team and this city, not acting how I should. I think anything physical usually starts mental, and I think that's just what I'm showing everybody right now. I just show up and keep pushing, but that can't happen. That kind of stuff, it just can't happen. He's right, but also, like, a lot of credit to him for owning
Oh,
up
yeah.
to that, admitting that some of this stuff is affecting him, and, I mean, this is a guy. I was there on Monday when he talked, and he wanted to address the issue with the fan that went viral, and, like, obviously, there's no defending it. He shouldn't have said what he said. I have no problem with a player chirping back at a fan. It was
It happens all the
how
time.
it was yeah, it happens all the time. It was what he said. That was also why it went viral. He owned up to that. You know, it was the words that he used, right? Obviously, like, and directed toward a female like that. It's not a good look. And I appreciate that he owned up to that. And I think he said, like, my read on it Monday was this is a guy who genuinely feels like crap about how he said it and how the women in his life, his mom or his friends or family members, whoever he was talking about specifically, it may look at him a little differently or know that that's not what he normally is about. And so, like, I really appreciate him owning up to that. I feel like he was genuine about that. And then, watching him last night, I wasn't there in person, but watching him take ownership of this and actually admit that, like, not acting how he should is affecting him on the field. Like, I appreciate that. And I think that's also, like, it's cool to see an athlete own up to that when like we can all look at this and be like, this is affecting him. Like you just said, Kyle, like, you have a moment like that on Sunday, you feel like shit about yourself, and then you go out on the field and perform in front of 40,000 people in person and potentially, hundreds of thousands or millions, that ended up seeing your clips on social media. And yeah, it wears on you. And so, like, I appreciate that from him, and he's a human being, like, that's gonna happen sometime. I will say I think that's more likely that he's gonna get out of it sooner is by owning up to that, and, like, there's just the psychology behind it is, like, if he fights and rails against it, it's gonna take longer, and by owning up to it and being vulnerable, I do think he has the potential to, like, move past it sooner because he clearly identifies what the problem is, and he's speaking about it publicly, so, like, hats off to him. Obviously, he needs to play better. Obviously, he shouldn't have said what he said to a female fan on Sunday. But, like, I think he's done all the right things since, and that's shown a lot of maturity. That it's been impressive to me just seeing that maturity from him. When I feel like he's had obviously some immature moments even this week, but he's had some immature moments, in the past, the helmet throws and that kind of stuff. Like, I've seen a lot of maturity out of him this year.
Mhm.
That's one thing that he kind of showed it last year. I think it was last year too when they played the Mets, and remember he slid into home or scored on a run, and he
Yeah,
did like
I think
the sleep uh, thing. Yeah, he did that to the Mets, and he kind of owned up to it. He's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Like that was kind of. I think we kind of forget sometimes too, like in the heat of the moment, and like these are high pressure games at the end of the day because of how much these players are all making, and like there's a lot of pressure on. This is a job, and I think you can see a different side of emotion that like you don't fully think of things when you're going through that, right? When you're so invested in so trying to win that like you don't it doesn't. I'm not defending what he said should not have been said, but what I'm saying is like you do things that maybe normally wouldn't do because you are just so in the heat of the moment, like making the sleeping sign to the Mets or excuse me, or just trying to do so much that you're making defensive errors in the field when that's supposed to be your thing. With him though, like the defensive mistakes have to like they can't happen because that's at the end of the day like you are hoping that if PCA is struggling like he is at the plate, it does not matter because he's providing just elite defense, and here he is providing literally mistakes on routine plays that just cannot happen, and that's where it really hurts you. And the fly ball to the against the White Sox with Colin Ray pitching in the finale where he almost caught it, and he got a lot of flack for like not catching it. That ball had like at the time it said 0% catch probability. I don't know if they've updated it because sometimes they update it after the fact, but it was a very low catch probability. The fact that he made it close was really impressive. That's like what you're hoping you're getting is like just to be able to have a chance to make those plays. If you're not getting that, and then you're not getting the routine plays, you have a real trouble. And then you throw in his offensive slumps, and you throw in the offensive slumps of this team collectively. And you kind of have what's going on right now with the Cubs, where this team in the month of May has really, really struggled, right? And we talked about early on in the season where it's like, man, everyone's going except Michael Busch. I pulled up the players' numbers in the month of May of qualified Cubs hitters. Only 2 players have a sub 100 WRC plus weighted runs created plus. Ian Happ at 110.
You mean above 100.
What did I say?
You
Above
said
100,
two
yeah.
players
but
below.
yeah.
But yeah, above 100. Thank you for correcting me. Only 2 players have WRC plus above 100. It's Ian Happ at 110 and Michael Busch at 185. Everyone else, all sub 100 WRC plus, below league average. Thank you, Kyle. The next closest is PCA actually at 86. This team, and obviously that doesn't include like Carson Kelly, who's been hitting the ball well because he doesn't play every single day to where he'd be a qualified hitter. But this team is really, really struggling in the month of May.
Well, even on top of that, Andy, like outside of just like overall more kind of casual mainstream numbers, the Cubs have 4 hitters, qualified or unqualified, in the month of May who have an OPS above 652. 652 is well below league average, by the way. Average OPS is right around 700-ish, give or take a little bit depending on the year. But they have Ian Happ is 733 OPS, despite hitting 188 this month with 32 strikeouts in 19 games. He's averaging almost 2 strikeouts a game. And then Miguel Amaya and Michael Conforto are 2 of the other ones that obviously they don't play every day. I mean, Conforto has 34 plate appearances. He's been very good. We know what he's done, especially over the last like week and a half or so. Miguel Amaya only has 9 games. Like you said, he does not play every day. He and Carson Kelly split time. Other than that, it's atrocious. Like
I've got the batting.
651.
I've got the batting averages. If you want to go even more basic,
let's do it because I was jotting them down too.
Michael Conforto. This is all Cubs players in the month of May. Michael Conforto 345, Michael Busch 306, Carson Kelly 279. After that, the next closest is Alex Bregman at 233, Miguel Amaya 227, and then Seiya Suzuki at 209. After that, it's all sub 200 batting averages, including. Oh, sorry, Nico Hunter has a 215. After that, it's all sub 200 batting averages. Ian Happ 188, PCA 197, Dansby Swanson 156, Matt Shaw 0.045, and Moises Ballesteros 0.075. That's not good.
No,
and Bregman was like, maybe we think we need to just talk about Bregman overall because like I am trying to figure out what's going on with him, right? Like this is supposed to be like your big dude. And,
this is your guy.
The huge offseason signing. He had a 300 on base and a 315 slugging in May. And he didn't have a very good April either, by the way. Like this is a guy who's hitting 2 and 3 in your lineup on a daily basis. We know his professionalism, his leadership, we know his track record, but like at what point do the Cubs simply just need more production from the guy that is making the most money on the roster and is supposed to be like the dude hitting in the most prime position in the lineup most of the time, right? Like that's I think right there is the biggest reason why the offense isn't going is because Ian Happ at least is drawing walks, but like he's striking out as much as anybody in baseball over the last few weeks. Alex Bregman is just not slugging the ball this year. I do think like watching Bregman anecdotally, he looks better than his numbers. He's had a lot of in I think the Friday in the South Side, he had 2 fly balls the warning track. Right?
I thought they were gone off the bat. But the press boxes at Sox Park is also a terrible location, so it's kind of hard to for sure know. But yeah, I thought those were gone. Kind of on that, I've always read about how he's a slow starter, so I pulled up his career splits right now. In the month of April and March, 769 OPS. This is career for Alex Bregman. In the month of May, 804 OPS. Then June, 840. July, 837. August, 963. September, October, 818. Maybe there's some positive regression coming, but like this is also a guy who's 32, and like there's a lot of questions, right? Like there's until he does it, you can say sure, like yeah, there's positive regression coming because of what his track record says, but like until he does it, you're kind of like, well, when is it going to happen? Especially when 7 other guys in the Cubs lineup are slumping.
It's crazy to think the So what's Dansby's contract? 7 years, 177 million, and Bregman's was 5 years, 175. We'll get, just total sum. So whatever the math is there, like you're getting, was it like 350 million on the left side of the infield, and the production you're getting from those two, and then
Offensively,
yeah,
yeah,
offensively, it's like you are obviously not getting the bang for your buck.
no.
And yeah, I keep seeing the narrative that Bregman's a slow starter, and yeah, maybe that it really is just the case. But just looking at how much you paid for Dansby, how much you paid for Nick or for Bregman, and like what did you say Dansby was hitting? What did you say? What Dansby was hitting? 156
In the
in
month
May.
of April, yeah, I believe it was 156. Yeah, 156. Yep.
I mean, it's
In
just
May.
like in May, yeah. I mean, I know he hit a 2-run shot the other night, but it's like that you're getting nothing, and it's seemingly I don't know what exactly their K rates are, but it seems like in the biggest spots, it's like say Dansby comes up second and third, 1 out, it's like he's striking out, and that's just a feel that it has, and not to say he's striking out every time, but there's just the clutch factor, and I know we've talked about it in the past. How can you determine if somebody's clutch? But it just the Cubs as a whole, and I'll transition away from Dansby. The Cubs as a whole are just leaving so many guys on base. I mean, they had first and second on Tuesday. They had Nico runner on second, nobody out yesterday. Like it just they're not pushing these runs across. Where you look at the Brewers, and I know I'm just double wristing the Brewers here, but like they are just everything. Every time they get a guy on, it's just like, oh yeah, he's gonna steal second. They're gonna get him over, and they're gonna get him in. Or even like the one thing that stood out to me yesterday was William Contreras. I think he walked, and then he stole second on a 3-2 pitch, and then Carson Kelly's throw gets into center, and it wasn't even that bad of a throw. It just it's the Brewers voodoo that somehow that ball gets in the center. He goes to third. Jake Bauers drives him in. It's just overall the Cubs struggles offensively. It's hopefully it's just a small point in time, but my God, is it maddening?
You want some numbers? You said the clutch factor.
Oh yeah, give me them.
Hit me.
This season, 247 hitters with runners in scoring position among the qualifiers. The Cubs have 4 guys in the bottom 15%, 15% of baseball. Matt Shaw is at 208 out of 247. Shaw is obviously playing part-time, but he's hitting 179. And then you have 3 every single day players in the bottom roughly 15%. Dansby ranks 209 in baseball out of 247 again, 178 at batting average with runners in scoring position. Then you have Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki, your 4 and 5 hitters on a typical day, are in the bottom 5% in baseball with runners in scoring position. Happ ranks 232nd out of 247 with a 148 batting average. Seiya is a couple spots down, ranks 234. He's hitting 140 with runners in scoring position. You're not going to win games like that. And runners in scoring position is a slightly flawed stat. The Cubs are as a whole a little bit. Go ahead, Andy.
I was gonna say, can I show you why it's a flawed stat?
Yeah.
Because
show me.
With runners in scoring position, you know which team has the 5th most runs scored with runners in scoring position this season as a whole this year? The Cubs. They have the 2nd most plate appearances with runners in scoring position. Now, to counter that, their 233 batting average with runners in scoring position ranks 22nd. So they are delivering runs, but I think a lot of those happened during those 2 winning streaks, during those hot stretches when they were a little bit better. I mean, I remember there were some games where they were 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position, and now the reverse is happening where they are not having those big outbursts with runners in scoring position. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to show you how it is very, very fluky.
It is. It's fluky, but it's also it only tells you part of the story. What that means, and Andy, the numbers specifically that you laid out, what it means is the Cubs have arguably the most opportunities in baseball. They are getting guys in scoring position as well as anybody else in the entire game. They're not coming through often, but the way offense works, especially in today's game where everybody throws so hard, strikeout rates are up, all of that, is you just create opportunities because over the course of 162, it will even out. Right now is the low stretch because, as Andy mentioned, I think during those 2 separate 10-game winning streaks, they were still performing really well with runners in scoring position. Like, I think things were going really well for them. There's had to be a little bit of a regression. We're seeing that right now. Things will increase. It's not always going to be like that. The thing that really gets to me is exactly what you said, Kyle, is that like it just feels like Dansby's not coming through. And this is 2 years in a row with him where he's not coming through with runners in scoring position. And even though he has the opportunities, like hitting 178 with runners in scoring position isn't going to get it done. It's simply not. And when your 4 and 5 hitters are hitting below 150 with runners in scoring position, that's also not going to get it done. Like, so that's like the big concern, I think, for this team right now is like, I don't know how you change lineup construction when your 3, 4, 5 guys are Bregman, as we just talked about, Happ, and Seiya. And then 2, Michael Busch has been back up there over the last few days, but Ballesteros spent most of May in the 2-hole, and he's been the worst offensive player on the Cubs this month, right? So, like, it's just it's been tough. There's no real answers. I don't know who should hit 3, 4, 5. I'm not saying like Council's doing something wrong or the Cubs are. There's just no good answers to turn to. Even Nico, who started the year so great, is down hitting, like 260, and all of his offensive numbers have completely cratered after an incredible start. Like, there's no good answers up and down this lineup.
So this is, and you had this on our rundown, which I think is a very interesting. I think it's kind of like a bigger question, like with the fans being down on the Cubs, like it's almost like how do you fan, right? Because like I think Tony, you and I have this perspective of like I don't think we ever react too much too high, and we're saying this on a podcast where we're pointing out how badly the Cubs are struggling and everything that's going wrong with the Cubs right now. But I think for the most part, we do a good job of like keeping the broader picture. But as fans, like, the Cubs are still 9 games over or 8 games over 500. They're still they would be in the playoffs today if they started today. And yet the discourse I see on the Cubs, and I want to start with you, Kyle, because I think you have the perfect fan perspective with this. Maybe it's losing 2 or 3 to the White Sox, excuse me, and getting swept by the Brewers right after that. But like, I would think that this team is like 15 games under and gonna have to figure out how to sell at the deadline, just given the fan discourse. So like, how do you fan? Like is this do fans are you overreacting as a fan? Like, should fans be overreacting? Like, hit me, Kyle. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, it's I feel almost like in the day of social media, everything is just enhanced. We're reacting to each game like it's a football game. Where if if the Bears beat the Panthers in week 1, it's like, fuck, this team might win the Super Bowl. But if they lose to the Panthers in week 1, it's like, not fired Ben Johnson, but I mean, it's the roof is caving in. Where in football you have 17 games. Obviously, baseball you have 172. So you're going to see stretches like this where it's absolutely maddening, but it's very realistic and possible that somehow the Cubs come off this off day here.
They're like on a 95 win pace, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, what they were doing before was, I think it was obviously unsustainable. You're not going to win. It's crazy. What was the last time the Cubs had multiple 10-game winning streaks in a season? It was like 1935, I think.
Yeah, something like that. In the 30s. Like that.
So it's
35.
Maybe we were just split. Damn, credit to me. Not even a smirk from Tony. He's just dialed in.
He's locked in.
I know, Jesus. But at the end of the day, it really is.
I'm freezing a little bit over here. I think I'm slightly behind.
Yeah, you always are. It's just like you have to take it in stride. It really is. Like, I ride or die with this team every day. Like, I'm watching it yesterday, and they're down 5-0. I'm like, this fucking team again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just maddening. But at the same time, like, it's take the off day, and then hopefully on Friday they somehow find a way to win, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we're back. So it really is. It's just the roller coaster of the up and down. And I love it. I watch every game, and I ride that roller coaster too. But it's probably not the logical way to look at it.
But that's why I think you were the perfect person to ask, because like I know you are like living and dying with each pitch, and like when they lose, it's like almost like the end of the world. But like Tony, to that point, like it's like it's not. Is it as bad as people are making it out to be? Like, is it as bad as it is, or are some of these concerns that we've talked about, like, are they things that or can derail the season? Like, I don't know, how are you viewing it and how fans are reacting to this poor stretch?
Yeah, I get it. Things are really, really freaking bleak right now. Like they just are. We talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. Like there's no place you can turn right now and feel like you see breadcrumbs towards positivity. It's just simple fact of the matter. There's no one player on the roster that I can point to and be like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Maybe Ben Brown, right? But like other than that, I can't point to anybody. Everybody has let the team down and let fans down over the last couple of weeks. But that's what happens in a baseball season. Every baseball season. Alex Bregman said it last night, Wednesday night, that one of the years that the Astros won the World Series, they got swept by the Oakland A's, like a team that has not been good for a long time. They got swept in a 4-game series in September right before playoffs started. The Cubs had in 2016 had one of their worst stretches like the week and a half before the season ended, the regular season ended. Now they had things clinched and stuff, but like I remember Jake Arrieta making comments because they switched catchers in the middle of an outing, and he's like, "What are we doing? This is like Bush League stuff." And people were frustrated, and things weren't going well at the end of 2016, and also going into the All-Star break in 2016, the Cubs weren't playing well during a stretch there too. Like this happens every single year to every team. They, as you said, Andy, they're on pace for 94 wins. They have a 67% chance of making the playoffs. They're 8 games over 500. They have a plus 30-ish run differential. They are a good baseball team that is not playing well right now. Things will change, but also like I would never tell a fan not to be frustrated because I'm watching these games and I'm unbiased and objective, and I'm having a hard time watching these games. It's
Yes,
difficult right now
100%.
to watch the Cubs.
100%. It's not a pretty watch. Like the 3 Brewers games were kind of tough to get through. I'll be honest, and I have no rooting interest. Like I think I've told you, Tony, this or Kyle, maybe this in the past. Like the end of the like when working and work covering the Cubs and covering sports, at the end of the day, win or lose, you are getting paid. So like if they win or lose, it doesn't matter. That's kind of how I've been able to disassociate the fan in me. But like they have been 3 tough games to watch. And that's the God's honest truth. So from a fan's perspective, I do get that point of having to watch this team. All right, before we wrap this thing up, Tony, it's your turn on Remember That Guy. So, or That Guy Rocked. What's the official name? I want to make sure are we going That Guy Rocked or Remember That Guy?
It could be either one because like sometimes these guys rock and sometimes you were just like, hey, remember that dude? It just popped in my head randomly. So whatever you want to say.
All right. We're going to say That Guy Rocked because that's what you put as the lower third. So Tony, hit me. Take it away.
All right. This is a guy that I know for a fact, has played in your guys' lifetime and you guys have watched play. He has
That narrows it down.
Played multiple positions, including second base for the Cubs, and he's hit kind of all over the lineup, including the 3-hole for the Cubs during his career.
Ben
Ian
Zobrist?
No to either.
Ian, we just
That'd be
ripped
funny
on
to do it.
Ian Happ.
Yeah, no, I
after we're
know.
just fucking
It'd be funny to do. Remember
him.
that guy that we talked half the podcast about?
Well, because it was kind of vague, so I was kind of going kind of vague too.
Yeah, I'm kind of being vague. All right. So another clue is he has been in the news, in the headlines relatively recently for stuff. Not necessarily bad or good, but he's been relevant recently.
Is he a current player?
He is not a current player.
And he's been in the news recently. Okay.
Not like necessarily in the news. He's been relevant and people have talked about him. He's resurfaced in a way recently.
No, it's fine. Right off the bat, you're gonna laugh at this. I know 100% this is not the answer, but when you said like multiple positions, played second base, Neifi Perez.
No, did Neifi Perez play second? I know he
played all over. Yeah,
bunted the worst times.
Yeah, that I do remember. I'm assuming I haven't heard about Neifi Perez in a minute here. So, did this guy play for Dusty Baker? Was he part of that?
He did not. No.
Okay, so
No.
I gotta. Did he play for? Ooh, is it
He
Starlin Castro?
Go ahead. You can keep asking. No, it is not. It's a good guess.
Was it not Starlin
So this
Castro?
guy, his best
Okay,
season
thank
with
you.
the Cubs, it's not Starlin Castro. No.
Okay.
His best season with the Cubs, he had a 2.1 WAR, 16 homers, and 11 stolen bases, a 784 OPS. I don't want to give the year because that's going to give it away too much. During that year, though, he did hit third 36 times. That was the spot he was in the batting order in the starting lineup the most often.
Do you know, Kyle?
Well, the hitting third is going to throw me off, but I was going to say Mark DeRosa.
Yeah. No. All right. So it was more recent than that. It was 2015 was his best year.
2015. Is it like Javi? No, it can't be Javi.
Nope.
It was 2015 with the Cubs.
Yep. 2-1 WAR.
Awesome.
And he hit third 36 times.
Chris Coughlin.
Yeah.
Chris Coughlin. The 2009
That freeze
NL
for a
Rookie of the
second?
Year.
Yes.
Yeah,
did.
you did.
Froze for a long second. People are
Yeah,
gonna be
you know what?
listening.
I could have given that
It's
as
gonna be
a
an
clue,
awkward
too.
pause. It's awesome.
What other clues did you have?
I was making them up as I went along. I was just going to keep giving you guys some of his Cubs numbers. I was centrally focused on his Cubs tenure because he's been, he's resurfaced a bit with I think Marquis had him in recently, and then the Lovable Reunion podcast. So people remembering him. I've seen him on the 2016 highlights. So
I was just gonna say, I think we have to have a podcast talking about some of the episodes on those podcasts, because I don't know how much of you guys have listened to it, but it's been fun listening to those conversations, because they really cover 2015 and 2016, not just 2016. And Chris Coughlin on the most recent one, or one of the more recent ones, talked about getting traded and everything, and it's just a really fun listen. I think we need to have a conversation about that because it was a lot of fun.
Tony's delay is unbelievable right now.
Yeah, it's crucial.
yeah,
So I think
I
with
don't know
that,
what's happening.
I think with that, we're going to wrap up this edition of the Windy City Breakdown. Thanks so much for listening and subscribing. As always, make sure to hit that follow button on YouTube, social media, wherever you get this podcast, and make sure to tune in weekly for new episodes. For Tony and Kyle, I'm Andy. Thanks for listening.